My first experience with a video game was when I was 5. My dad had installed Wolfenstein 3D, and I sat eagerly next to him, watching him play. I spent a lot of time growing up there, perched on the tip of my chair I had dragged over to his desk, eyes glued on the monitor as he fought waves of enemies. When I was given my turn, I shakily ventured into those worlds myself. It wasn't long before WASD controls came to me as naturally as walking. I didn't have any siblings, and my geeky hobbies, gangly height, and oversized glasses hindered my ability to make friends. Video games and novels helped me escape to other worlds, and they became a core part of who I am. I played RPGs, FPSs, MMOs, RTSs, you name it. Even in my nightmares, monsters had red names and health bars over their heads. Academically, I did well. I was valedictorian of my high school, but I had no clue what I wanted to be when I grew up. You see, I didn't really know about being a game developer. I just never considered it existing, even as a hobby, let alone a career path. Despite my love of logic problems, no one ever mentioned to me that programming was a thing. It was a concept I was vaguely familiar with, but I didn't even know enough about it to realize that it was a perfect fit for my skills and passions. It wasn't until college that I was introduced to programming. Luckily, Harvey Mudd College, where I went to school, required that all freshmen take an Introduction to Programming course. I loved it, I excelled at it. I went to the counselor's office to pick up a major change request form, and didn't fill it out. That was the first time it stopped me. Everyone else in the computer science program had been programming since high school or before. I wasn't really doing that well. My boyfriend, who was going into engineering, was a way better programmer than me. Clearly, I had missed the boat. And doing well in one intro class didn't mean I would stand a chance in the high-level courses. I even made excuses to justify pursuing engineering instead of computer science. After all, I didn't want to be stuck in front of a computer screen all day, right? And with engineering, I could get hands-on and prototype in the machine shop. That was more my style anyway. So I graduated with an engineering degree, with a focus on mechanical engineering and project management. Yet, throughout college, my passions for games started to garner attention. I cosplayed, made art, streamed, blogged, and ventured out to conventions. I had fans. A strange concept, but it's just because I'm a girl, right? I took a chance. I pursued a position as an associate producer at a big game company, but had the job offer revoked when the person who hired me unexpectedly left the company. The game industry is really competitive. I just might not have what it takes. So, I started working in the biotech industry. I worked as an industrial engineer, then moved on to Seattle and worked as a system and design engineer. Slowly, more and more of my friends were becoming game developers, and I started programming in my spare time. My boss pulled me aside one day and asked if I would like to lead the development of some mini-games for use in determining the cognitive abilities of children in order to assess concussions. He knew my passion for games and how I was studying software development. So, it started. I made many games, but those don't count, right? I started working as a producer in an indie studio in my spare time, but I wasn't being paid, so that doesn't count. The biotech company I was working at started cutting people, and the software team was outsourced. So I started studying C++ and working on making more complicated small games. But no one would hire me. I didn't have enough experience. I got frustrated. I was lost and I only saw one path for me, and that was my beloved games. So I started my own project, Potions: A Curious Tale, under my own company, about a young witch who discovers she has the ability to brew magical potions, but she must search and battle for her progress. She has to be clever and earn every ingredient recipe. Her name is Luna, but she's really me. I poured myself into my game. I taught myself C# and Unity and how to design inventory systems and crafting and AI. Eventually I started building my team because the game I started as a project to prove myself was becoming my game. My game I wanted to finish and show the world. With a fresh coat of paint on potions by my artists, interest for it surged, but that's just probably because of the art, right? On the side, my passions for virtual reality surged. I was reached out to with a job offer to work on a Unity port of a VR game, but that's only because they had never seen my code. Within a year of starting development, I showed potions at Power of Play, PAX Prime, Geek Girl Con, and Indiecade. I just barely found workarounds to get into those. I never made the cut for Indie Mega Booth or the main Indiecade festival. It was just luck. I gave my first industry talk back before this slide earlier this year on team building and management. The video of it has over 700 YouTube views, but most of those were probably just friends. This, imposter syndrome, is something we have all fought against and continue to fight. It is only worsened by the stigmas that exist in the game industry. When I explained that I do everything on the project but art and sound, I've been met with the question, so who does the programming? I've been beaten down by my own doubts, and they nip at my heels when someone sneers at me and makes a comment that feeds into my fears. And those have real consequences. I didn't fill out that form. I didn't give myself credit for the reactions to my work, and I have spent more than an evening choking on tears that I couldn't share because I was afraid of seeming weak. And that's why we are here. I am honored to be in a room full of women who fight any doubts, both from others and from within, who have made the path for many more women to follow. Games are my life, my love, and I'm proud to be among all of you amazing women. I know that we will lead this industry to great heights. This gathering today is a great example of what we can do when we all come together. I am very honored to be here. Thank you.